Hi, this is Hilary.
And Anna Maria.
Under the Marquee, reporting on our first impressions of Star Wars Episode 7. It was absolutely delightful, and I've got a lot more to say about it along those lines, but first let's hear what you think.
I felt like I found some old friends that I've been missing for a very long time. So, loved it. Can't wait to talk about it. Let's go back to my place.
Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens, starts with the traditional scrolling text, which tells us that a new enemy, the First Order, has arisen. And there are no Jedi to fight them, because Luke, having lost his last trainee to the dark side, has fled and not been seen for years. Cue the adorable droid, BB-8, with a map to Luke's whereabouts and a rebel pilot trying to get him back to their base, with the First Order hot on their heels. But it will take a fugitive stormtrooper named Finn and a young scavenger girl called Rey to get the job done, and then confront Luke's old pupil, who has taken Darth Vader's place. Okay, so what did you like about it?
I just love this world. You know, it's just so familiar and comfortable. It was great going back to it and seeing a lot of familiar characters, and I loved Finn, who was kind of the stormtrooper who didn't want to be a stormtrooper anymore. Dialogue was fantastic. Some really funny lines. It was really fun to go to in an audience that was sold out, and just the energy from the audience and people cheering and clapping and some people in costume and all that. It was just a fun time. How about you? What did you enjoy?
I am totally with you about both the dialogue and the characters. In fact, I think my favorite line in the whole thing maybe is when Finn is breaking the rebel pilot who's been captured out of the base, and he says, "Why are you doing this?" And Finn says, "Because it's the right thing to do." And Poe looks him dead in the eyes and said, "You need a pilot, don't you?" And he says, "Yes, I do." You know? I actually think that this was better than the original Episode 3 first Star Wars movie with Luke Skywalker.
That's Episode 4.
Well, Episode 4. Okay, Episode 4. The characters are better. The dialogue is better. The character backstories are better and deeper. I think they're going to have some bigger arcs. It just is working in every way for me. I think it's better than Episode 4. And that's
Interesting.
saying a fair bit.
That is. Okay. So, what didn't you like about this movie?
The only thing that I'm not sure about is it actually is a little bit derivative of Episode 4. There is the barroom scene, there is the fight on the walkway scene, which actually was Episode 5.
Four.
Four? Okay. 4. There's the attack on the Death Star scene. And I kind of liked it because it brings back all those iconic moments, but it also is a little bit unoriginal. And that's the only thing that is a little bit of a caveat for me. What about you?
We're in agreement on that. As much as I enjoyed it, and I really did enjoy the characters and the dialogue, it felt like a rehash of the first movie, which was Episode 4, A New Hope.
Yeah.
And I actually wanted something different. There was a little too much that was familiar plot-wise. It needed a different slant. So
I'm hoping
I'm not sure why they did that. I don't know.
It's a great trip down memory lane, but at least for the next movie, we need to explore some new territory.
Yeah, the next movie better not be a rehash of The Empire Strikes Back.
Although, boy, they've set it up for the start of that, maybe. So we'll have to see.
We'll have to see. Yeah.
Okay, what age level do you think?
You know, I think this is a movie for the whole family. I would say 4 and up. You know, as long as they're okay with. I mean, there's violence in it. I mean, there's a lot of blowing things up and duels and not a whole lot of blood and gore, but if that's going to disturb your kids, then don't take them. But I think 4 and up would actually really enjoy it. You're going to go older?
I'm going to go older because I don't think a 4-year-old could track the plot. The plot was reasonably complex, and I kind of think that you need to track the plot. Otherwise, it's just a whole bunch of people running and yelling and blowing things up. So I'm going to say 6 and up.
Okay.
Just because I don't think a 4-year-old could track the plot, and maybe not a 5-year-old.
I don't know that it's really not necessary for a kid that age to track the plot so much. I mean, they're not going to get the nuances on the relationships of some of the characters.
I'm talking point A to point B to point C. I don't think they can track the plot, which is reasonably complicated and has a lot of weird alien names in it, too.
Well.
Okay, so how many tickets are you giving it?
I'm giving it 4 tickets. I really wanted to give it 4.5, but it's just a little too much like the episode 4 movie. There just wasn't enough difference in the plot for me to push it higher than that. How about you?
We're switching places. I'm actually going to give it 4.5. It was a little derivative of the first movie, but I'm not sure I minded that as much as you did. It was lovely kind of going back to that world and those people.
It really started bothering me right in the climax, where it was the same climax as in the episode 4.
Well, not entirely. The attack on the Death Star, yes, but the rest of it, not necessarily.
It was too close for me.
Yeah, well, I give it 4.5 still. It's a really good movie.
It is a good movie.
So that's our review of Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens. And if you liked it or you didn't, let us know on our YouTube channel, leave us a comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can get these videos in a timely fashion.
Okay. We'll see you at the movies.